Hi Aries, welcome to your January 2023 tarot reading with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. As you can hear, I am a little bit under the weather at this point, but I'm still getting into it to make sure that I bring you some news for the new year. So with that said, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your actions and interactions with the world at large over the course of January 2023. Look at that, right? You have been delivered a brand new year by the universe. Make sure you do something good with it. For your actions and options, you got the Four of Cups. So I'm going to tell you straight up, Aries, I love you. You know I do. My mother is an Aries, so I kind of have no choice. But I am going to say this to you. Snap the hell out of it, right? If you are in a funk, I know your ruling planet at this point, Mars has been retrograde for quite some time, but it does go direct on the 12th of January. You haven't got very far to go. This month, it looks like you are giving yourself over to contemplation, which is always a good thing. Remember, when your ruling planet goes retrograde, this is about that energy and action going within. If you haven't done any inner work, this is the time to get started with it. The other thing with the Four of Cups as well, especially as an actions card, this does suggest that your actions are slower. They're possibly a lot more deliberate this month as well. I would give yourself a moment, right? Have your moment, because very often the Four of Cups shows up when we're in a funk, and I can completely understand why you are, but this is the time for you to snap out of it. I will also say to you as well, this month, be open to the surprises and the offers that can come to you from surprising places and or people. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Five of Wands, right? So I'm going to say this, unfortunately, you're not quite done with some of the arguments and or the bickering that's taken place. You've got this with the Four of Cups, right? And I'm going to be really honest with you, as I always am, but I am going to say this. It does look like this month somebody's going to call you out on something. You've got two options. You can take it on the chin like the badass that you are, especially if this is something where you kind of know you're in the wrong. If that is the case, this is one I would say, just put your hands up and say, okay, how do we move forward from here? All right, don't sit and dwell on it and do the whole I'm sorry and, you know, don't make a show and dance out of it. Just kind of put your hand up and say, okay, you know what, this is where I messed up and this is how I can move forward. On top of that, it does suggest to me that your social circle, the people that you're connected to with or hang out with, this month they're going through a really big change. And this actually is a good thing, especially because your ruling planet is retrograde in the sign of Gemini, which is the social sign, right? Aside from Aquarius, obviously. But all jokes aside, this month you are kind of you're still battling it out, right? And I gotta say, you're only really going to be digging yourself a deeper hole if this month you can't just turn around and say, you know what, here is where I messed up and this is what I'm prepared to do about it. You're going to allow something to drag on way much longer than it really needs to. It's a new year. If you can drop it by just saying, look, you know what, it is what it is, how do we move forward? You'll get some clarity, and more importantly, you'll actually get some traction. For your heart and half, you've got the Hanged Man, all right? So when it comes to partnerships and relationships of the intimate kind and connections, this really does suggest to me that something is potentially on hold this month. There's a partnership or relationship. So for those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, there's some issue or some problem that you and your significant other are just not able to see eye to eye on. Now, it doesn't have to be a deal breaker, but it does potentially look like either you or your partner is going to say, look, you know what, I'm not doing this right now and we're going to have to spend some time apart. Excuse me. Now, that's one way this could show up. Excuse me. Another way that this might show up for you, it may be where you're having to really assess and reevaluate the relationship itself. Where is it healthy? Where is it not? For those of you that are single and looking, look, I gotta be honest, you could connect with somebody through a friendship or through your social circle, but I would hang tough on this, especially because it's the Hanged Man and especially because your ruling planet and Mercury are both retrograde. What you see right now and what you think you're getting is not what you'll be getting once everything goes direct. For your money and materials, you've got the Lovers card. This is not a month, I repeat, this is not a month to mix business with pleasure, money with relationships. If you're married and it's like a long-term thing, maybe a little bit more leeway. This could show up though, even if you're married and you've been in a partnership for a long time, this might be an argument or a challenge that arises around money where your significant other kind of feels, well, you know, we should be doing this, we should be focused on this, and you're going in a completely different direction. The other thing as well, because the Lovers card represents choice, it does suggest that if you're making a big financial commitment this month, excuse me, if you can wait until the very end of the month, you'll be in a much stronger position for it, and obviously you'll have those planets that will be direct. So that's something to consider. The other thing as well, when it comes to money, finances and resources, give yourself a moment of clarity, all right? Ask yourself, are you really being as objective when it comes to a financial matter as you possibly could be? So for your weeks of the month, for the first week of the month, you have the World card or the universe in this deck underneath the Four of Cups. So there is a shift and there is a change coming in. I kind of get the feeling this is Aries trying to do what Aries does best. All or nothing. You're either in or you're out. You're going to potentially try to overdo it in this first week of the month, and I would advise against it. If you've been watching me long enough, it means you would have seen all of the videos that I put out at the end of the year, and I said to everybody, do not let everybody else rush around like a headless chicken and a blue-ass fly, as we say here in the UK, right? Let everyone else do the crazy. You bide your time, you hold back, you wait. When we get to the third week and the fourth week of January, then you can start moving forward. Then you can start putting things into action. It's kind of like, I don't know if you've ever been to a concert, and you know, like as soon as it's over, everybody gets up and they start running out. And it's the same with it when you're getting off a train or getting off a bus or whatever. Not me. I let everybody go, do their thing, and I will get up and at leisure, I will go about my business. That's my advice to you for this first week of the month. For the second week, you've got the Star card. This is beautiful. So there are friends here that you can count on, but there's also a realization that the friendship and the social circle does need to shift or to change. It does suggest for a select few of you as well, a partnership, friendship, connection, maybe even a familial tie is either trying to mend, or you realize this is kind of it. There is no going back from here. For your third week of the month, you have the Temperance card with the Hanged Man. Now, excuse me, both of these are very spiritual energies, all right? Like very, like the Temperance card is a very spiritual card. The Hanged Man is actually a very spiritual card. And the fact that you've got both of these in the relationship kind of area, it does suggest to me that you are trying to really figure out what is either missing or wrong with a relationship, or how you can mend it, fix it, or heal it. Now, I'm going to be really honest with you, because you are action orientated, you might find what I'm about to say to you quite hard. Sometimes the best way to let something heal is to leave it alone, right? Is to let it be. When you have a broken bone, you don't sit there constantly poking at it. Yes, eventually you start walking on it to, you know, kind of get the strength and stuff back to it, but not straight away. You understand that, you know, in the beginning, things need to be left to settle, to do their own thing. This is one of those times where the greatest of cliches, you know, time heals all wounds, really is the case. For those of you that are single, it does look like you've had a bit of a dramatic period around love, relationships and partnerships. And the interesting part is, it's kind of like you're ready for a higher octave of love now, but you're kind of like at a loss as to, well, how's this going to happen? By sitting back and asking yourself, where am I out of balance? Where am I out of alignment with the kind of love and relationship that I want and need in my life? For your fourth week of the month, you have the Strength card. It's an interesting card to have here, especially coupled with the Lovers. There's a few ways this could show up for you when it comes to your finances and your resources. You know, to slightly kind of backtrack on the message that I gave you earlier, there may be a financial move or decision that comes up for you this month that you kind of say to yourself, you know what, I've got the courage, I've got the courage, I've got the money. If it goes wrong, it's on me. And that's one thing that you do really need to be aware of, right? The potential or the possibility here is exactly that. Because it's the Strength card, the message literally is, it's on you, right? It's not to say that it's a bad idea. I personally, if it's mixing business with pleasure, I would be a bit more careful around that. I would also be really checking the fine print as well. Just because of what, you know, with what's going on with the planets. But because you have the Strength card, I'm inclined to say you have the guts and the courage to go after something, and it's a big decision financially. And it's almost like there's a part of you that's saying, well, you know, sometimes you need to take a leap of faith, or you need to find your guts to go after something. And I genuinely believe that. I agree with you wholeheartedly. You just need to obviously act with some kind of discernment. And if you feel it's right for you, then absolutely go for it. But like I said to you, the thing that really stands out here that you need to say to yourself, kind of like this, right? If you've messed up, you've messed up. Just put your hands up and own up to it. In that same sort of spirit here, when it comes to a big financial decision this month, if it goes wrong, it's on you, right? You're obviously listening to something that only you know, right? So let's say a big opportunity comes up and you have to put, like, you know, a big chunk of your savings into it, and you're like, you know what, it is a massive gamble, but I've got the money, you know, I believe this is a good investment. It's all on you, right? It's absolutely all on you. If you feel in your gut, no, this is the right move for me, then absolutely go for it, right? This is a big financial swing that you're taking. And only you will be left holding either the bag or the bag, right? So either which way, and this is the thing, like, I don't see it going either way here. It's kind of like because you've got the Lovers card, it suggests that it can go either way. And because you've got the Strength card, it suggests that you are kind of invested. Whatever it's like, come what may, whatever it's going to be, whether it goes big and I get that big payout from it, absolutely, you can put your hand up and say, listen, you all doubted me and look at what I did. Whereas if it doesn't go according to, you know, the way that you would like it to, that's also on you as well. So for your new moon in Aquarius, this for you is in your 11th house, especially if you're an Aquarius, an Aries ascendant, should I say. Remember, whenever I'm talking astrology of the moons, I'm always talking about this from the ascendant perspective first, to a lesser degree the sun and the moon, but still relevant. Now, a new moon in your 11th house of friendship, groups, social interactions, right? There's a lot going on in that sector for you and a big shake up there. New friends, new connections, new collaborations could be coming in. New social media contacts and presences could be making themselves known. It might also be as well where somebody chooses to stand up for you, where someone chooses to stand surety for you, where someone chooses to say, no, listen, you know what? I will vouch for that person. And if that's the case, beautiful. Just obviously, you know, be mindful that if someone's putting their reputation, you know, money, whatever it might be on the line for you, you then have to deliver. For your new moon message, you've got the gate 47 and closing. And this basically talks about closing out a cycle, but closing it out the right way. So this new moon in the 11th, there could be friendships, connections, ties, possibly even sibling relationships that you're releasing at this time, but they are making way or space for new things, new people, and new stimuli to come into your life. That new moon in the sign of Aquarius is on the 21st of January. After which it is well, I've said to everybody between the 22nd and the 25th. Personally, I would say from the 25th onwards, because at that point, all the planets are direct, as in literally every single planet in the sky that, well, in our, you know, zodiac system, all the planets are direct. It's a big moment. For the full moon in Cancer, this for you is happening in your 4th house of home, family, property, real estate. A full moon is a culmination, a completion, and potentially an ending of some sort. And because this is happening in the sign of the 4th, this could be a very emotional full moon, right? It's a Cancer full moon at that. The moon is at full strength in her own sign. This is, yes, the moon exalts in Taurus, but as far as I'm concerned, moon Cancer, you know, a lot of people hate on this transit, but That's because they don't know, all right? Now, the fact that you're having a full moon there, something about the family, you know, the connections, the ties that bind when it comes to family could be coming to a close, could be coming to an end. It might be, you know, that there's a time where something is revealed with, through, or around the family. Either which way, this is going to be a very emotionally charged full moon. For this, you've got the gate 29 and perseverance. So if you've made some headway with a familial tie, partnership, and or connection, that full moon is going to show you where you need to lean into it. All right, that perseverance card has always said to me, it's about keeping on, okay? That full moon is going to be happening on the 6th of January. So like basically right at the beginning of the month. You know, we have, you know, Mercury goes retrograde on, like, I think it's like the 29th or the 30th of December. And then right into the new year, like when we come into the 6th, bam, we got a full moon. So it's going to be quite a full-on period. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Happy New Year. Get to it. This is your time. All right. Take care, and I'll see you soon.